Do you have plantar fasciitis so bad that you can barely move or go to work? We're going over tips, tricks, stuff you can do at home immediately to start relieving the pain. But we're gonna tie it all together with a big secret, so stick around to the end because we gotta get your plantar fascia better, and we're starting now. In this video, we're doing stuff that helps you immediately, but for a long-term diagnosis, treatment, how to fix this stuff permanently, check out our full guide down below. Number one, a plantar fascia night splint. This is a pretty low-cost device, but right away you can put this thing on and it'll stretch your foot for 20-30 minutes, or you could even wear it all night. You could wear it while you're watching TV. There's a lot of great studies on this. It helps you very quickly start getting better because plantar fascia, when it gets so bad, is usually very thick, scarred, and needs to become more flexible. So that's really the trick. At the beginning, I'll look at it with an ultrasound. Normal plantar fascia should be about 4 millimeters or less, but when it's so painful that people are like in tears or can't go to work, it's like 8 to 10 or more millimeters in thickness. That means microscopic tears, fluid built up in there. So you want to gently stretch that out, get it more flexible.
Now, when I say thickness, you can actually look at the plantar fascia on an MRI, or more commonly in the office, I will take an ultrasound and actually measure the ligaments like the plantar fascia. If they're relatively thin and non-swollen, it's probably not the plantar fascia, but if the plantar fascia is thick and swollen, then you know what you have to address.
Another thing that works really well is foot massager devices. You can buy electronic ones, you could buy ice balls, you could buy devices that both ice and massage at the same time. I love these. They're not really expensive. They're like under $100 these days. Studies are excellent. Most of my patients have great results. It really loosens up the plantar fascia, gets that swelling and tightness out of there. That morning pain, at the very least, it can loosen you up. When you get up in the morning, even a 15-minute massage can make a big difference. Medication. There are things like anti-inflammatories. Those are your NSAIDs like ibuprofen, Advil, Aleve, Motrin, naproxen. Those are okay for a few days or maybe a week or two, but I always tell people don't take it more than a week or two. There's so many problems, so many kidney issues that can develop. You want to just use it at the beginning until you start doing all these other things. There are oral steroids as well. So for people in chronic pain, nerve pain, you can take an oral steroid for a few days, but long-term, this is a losing strategy. If you're having to take these kind of pills, you should be seeing a foot doctor like me to make sure you're getting to the root cause, because it could be a nerve, it could be a torn fascia, it could be microscopic damage inside the ligament, could be a broken heel spur. There's a lot of stuff that I see. Another thing that can work really well is injections. There's corticosteroids, there's PRP, which is platelet recombinant plasma. There's stem cell injections. A lot of the times insurances cover things like steroid injections. This gives you a lot of relief very quickly. And again, this should be done by a doctor, probably not something to do at your house. Studies show that these are probably safer than previously thought. There are some potential risks, but your doctor will go over that with you. Realistically, out of thousands of injections, I've only had a few people ever have any issues. And in fact, those are things you can correct pretty quickly. Ultrasonic therapy. So this is stuff like ultrasound or extracorporeal shockwave therapy. I'm a big believer in shockwave therapy. Unless you just injured your foot, I love to use shockwave therapy right away. This helps break up that tissue. And before I do shockwave therapy, I actually measure how thick it is so that we can actually keep track how much better you're getting. But hey, you'll know. You don't really need a test. You'll just know you're feeling better. Shockwave therapy, to me, that's one of the game-changing devices right now that can make a huge difference.
The trick as well is you have to image it ahead of time, and you can actually measure how damaged and how injured the plantar fascia is. So for example, if it's 10 millimeters thick and you start using shockwave therapy, after a few weeks, it should start shrinking in size. Otherwise, you might be having the wrong diagnosis or using the wrong treatment.
If you're in so much pain that you can barely walk, a doctor should give you time off work. If you're a runner, if you're going on long walks, go swimming, ride a bike, do some strength training instead. Let your plantar fascia, let your foot heal. That can make a big difference. Massage techniques. So rubber lacrosse balls, or you could get fancy ones like this that are like double. you can roll your foot on them. There's also ones where you could freeze the inside. You don't need to get these fancy ones. You could use a tennis ball or a baseball. Just roll your foot across it back and forth 15 to 20 seconds. It helps break up some of those adhesions. You could get your husband or your wife to massage the bottom of your foot. The studies are actually pretty good. In the Clinical Journal of Rehabilitation, they showed that massaging really does make an early difference. Plantar fascia massage, cross friction massage, so using your thumbs, using your hand to go back and forth, it just helps break up some of those adhesions. But again, if you have the money and you have Amazon, these things are like $100. They work just so much better. Just pretend someone's giving you a continuous 10 to 15 minute massage. That really gets rid of that swelling, breaks up those adhesions. I would recommend checking that out. You can also do a frozen water bottle. So just take a plastic bottle, put it in your freezer for 10, 15 minutes. Right away, your heel starts doing better. Just roll your foot back and forth. Makes a big difference. The studies are there. So the massage plus the icing has benefits. Stretching. So your gastrocnemius, your calf muscle, your plantar fascia, your hamstrings, your butt muscles, that makes a big difference. The studies are there. The studies are really good. And foot exercises. So basically gripping with your toes, the inside of your ankle, your plantar fascia, rotations. I have a full foot and ankle strengthening guide. Check out that guide below. Makes a big, big difference. I won't go into all that detail here. But the reality is, and here's the big secret, is pretend someone's punching you in the shoulder repeatedly. You're going to get bruises. You're going to get tears in your muscle. Working out, strengthening, injecting that shoulder will not make a difference if someone keeps punching you repeatedly. You need to protect that shoulder. You need to let the damage heal. I always do imaging, like ultrasound, like x-ray, make sure we're not missing any fractures, any compressed nerves, any impingement syndromes. There's so many things that it could be. But as we take care of those things, and I have a guide that goes over that diagnosis in detail, as we take care of those things, you want good shoes, good orthotics. Good insoles can cushion you and support you. Most of the patients I see, they hate orthotics because they tried a crappy pair. And in fact, there's a lot of scams with orthotics. There's people selling outrageously expensive ones that don't do a lot. It causes a lot of foot pain. If you get a good pair, and again, I link my favorites and a guide on how to do it, plus good shoes, that can make a massive difference for your foot health. It can take great care of you. And you want a doctor to do a biomechanical exam. Are you tight in your hips, your hamstrings, your knees, your feet, your ankles? And then you want to address all these things. If you're in the Michigan area, come see me. I'd love to do that exam for you. This is all covered stuff by insurance. Come see us. Check out our videos on the top medical devices, our diagnosis, everything else the heel pain could be if it's not getting better. Check it out below.